In this last video, I want to talk about what do we do from here? What do we do from here? I'm going to give you a few things to help you, and it's going to help your loved one, even that's in heaven. First thing is stay busy. Stay busy. Stay focused on something to do that's going to help you go and do the right direction. There's an incredible verse in the Bible. I don't know how he did it, only with God's grace. Ezekiel 24:18. Ezekiel's wife had passed away. He says, "So I spake unto the people in the morning, and at even my wife died. And I did in the morning as I was commanded." His wife died that evening, and in the morning he preached and spoke to the people. He kept going forward with what he was supposed to do. Many times people, when they lose a loved one, they stay home. They don't get out. They don't come to church. They don't do the things they're supposed to do. That's not a good thing. You're not going to feel like it, but make yourself. Especially coming to church. You need the preaching, encouragement, the fellowship, the people. If you don't have a church, get a church. Okay, find a church. You're going to need that encouragement and help when you go through this hard time. Don't stay away. Don't stay away. What do you do from here? Keep doing what you're supposed to do. Matthew 24:46. Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. When the Lord comes back, you want him to find you doing what he told us to do. Serve the Lord. Help people. Do those things. Don't let it ruin your life, your relationships, your job, your career, your marriage. The statistic is 70% of parents that lose a minor child end up in divorce. 70%. It's so devastating. They don't get the help that they need. They don't heal. They take it out on each other. They grow apart and end up divorcing. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. Don't let that happen. Get some counsel. Get some help. Get some things for your life. I saved it for this 12th video, knowing that probably most people won't get to the last one, and that's fine. I'm going to give you my cell number, and feel free to text me. And if you would like to do a one-on-one counseling to help you, you have other questions, I'd be glad to give that to you. The number is 931-797-1816. 931-797-1816. The best thing to do is to text me and say, I got through your video series on grief and I would like some help. I would like to talk to someone who could help me. And either myself or my wife will get you in touch with somebody who can help you through this time. Would be glad to do that. Remember the verse, 1 Corinthians 15:55. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? That's what you want to get to. You want to get to the point where my loved one's gone, he's in heaven, and death, that's no sting. Grave, that's no victory. My loved one is in heaven, and I'm going to be with them one day. And until then, I'm going to go forward doing the things that God has called me to do. Living my life, loving and helping and serving and doing those things. This part here is just so powerful, and if you'll do it, it's deep. It's hard. It's not easy. But if you make yourself do it, I promise you, it'll change your life. We're to bear other burdens. Bear you one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. If you, in the middle of your grief and heartache and trial, will make yourself get out of yourself and go help someone else, it's amazing what it will do to help you. Matthew 11:28, listen carefully. Come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Oh, you labor, you're heavy laden. God wants to give you rest. Oh, I need that. How? How do I get that rest? Take my yoke upon you. What? A yoke? That's a burden. I already have a burden. I don't need your burden. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and you shall find rest unto your souls. What? Take his yoke, and I'm going to find rest for my soul? What is that? For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Okay, I don't understand that, and most people do, and I've hardly ever heard anyone explain this the right way. But what is the yoke? What is the Lord's burden? What is he burdened about? He's not hungry. He didn't have bills to pay. He didn't have health issues. He didn't lose a loved one. What is the Lord's burden? The Lord's burden is that people that he loves and died for and shed his blood for get saved. That's his burden. Imagine what the Lord must go through seeing so many people that he loves and nobody getting the gospel to them. Here's what you do. You can't fix your burden. You can't change your burden, but you can help someone else with theirs. You pick up the Lord's burden and go show someone how to go to heaven. Go help them. Go love them. Go minister to them. and it will lift your heart every time. Years ago, I'm a young preacher and a lot of problems and issues and church things going on. Anytime it was overwhelming, I would go see two ladies, Sarah Duncan and Zelda Swan, because I knew when I did, it would lift and encourage me. Now, they always thought I was coming to see them, and I did, and I encouraged them. They were sweet older widow ladies that had burdens and heartaches, and I would go by and see them and visit them and pray with them and laugh with them. And guess who would leave encouraged? Me. Me. Do that. Make yourself do that. You're not going to feel like it. Make yourself go do that. It'll change your life. Years ago, I had a lady in our church, and she had gone through more than anyone I had ever seen go through. She had been a pastor's wife for years. He ran off and left her for a 20-year-old. Then the family and the kids fell apart. One daughter was raped and had a child, and real problem. The son got into the world and got into drinking and had a drunk driving accident. They called me from the hospital. They knew I knew the family and asked if I wanted to go tell her that her son had passed away. My wife and I at 2 in the morning knocked on her door. It's not a good sight when your pastor and his wife are at your door at 2 in the morning. We came in and told her what happened. We had to drive to the hospital to identify the body and bring her back. She was beside herself, so tough. And then, and I won't even share what it is, she had a burden that's even bigger than that. And I didn't think she was going to make it. I thought she was going to have a nervous breakdown or whatever happens. I mean, she was just gone. And I said, I can help you if you'll let me. Will you let me help you? Yes. I said, listen, I'm going to tell you what to do, and it will help you, but I don't want you to argue with me. I don't want you to complain. You promise me what I tell you to do, you will do it. You promise me? Yes. I said, all right, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go home, and I want you to bake some cookies. She looked at me with a hard look. I said, you said you wouldn't argue. I want you to go home and bake some cookies. I want you then to take him to this nursing home down the road. I want you to go up to the desk and say, hey, is there anyone here that's non-diabetic that doesn't get a lot of visits that I can encourage? And they'll direct you to a few people. Go share a cookie and pray with them and let them talk and see if they have any burdens and heartaches and try to help them. She was not happy. She left. She went home. I didn't hear from her that day or the next day. Finally, the day after that, she goes, okay, I got to tell you what happened. And she told me story after story of a person that she loved and cared about and helped and got to show someone how to go to heaven. And guess what it did for her? It lifted her burden. She took the yoke of the Lord and went to care about other people. She didn't feel like it. She didn't want to. She only did it because she promised me she would. And God used that to lift her life. Hey, can I help you with what to do? Go bake some cookies. Go down to the nursing home. Go visit and love some people and help them. You can't fix and change your burden, but you could lift them with theirs. One last thing I want to tell you, and this is sort of deep theologically, but if you can understand, your loved one in heaven has not gotten their rewards yet. They've gotten the gift of eternal life, and they are in heaven. But God says that we're going to receive rewards that we've done in the body in heaven later on, but no one's gotten them yet. Paul hasn't. David hasn't, Barnabas hasn't, Peter hasn't, Spurgeon hasn't. No one in heaven has gotten the rewards yet. How come? Because the things that they did on the earth are still going on. Charles Haddon Spurgeon, a preacher in England in the 1800s, people are still reading his books and still preaching his sermons, and he's going to get rewards for that. People that Paul led to Christ, that led people to Christ, that led people to Christ, are still winning people to Christ. They're going to get rewards for that. You want to do something amazing? You want to help your loved one in heaven to have more rewards? Use their passing as a motivation for you to show people how to go to heaven. And you can give your loved one rewards because their life and their motivation helps you to show others how to go to heaven. You want a great introduction? You want an introduction to witness to somebody that there's no way in the world, hardly ever they could turn that down? Tell them this. Hey, last month, my son died. My husband died. My wife died. My daughter died. Whoever it is. And boy, it's so hard to be without them now. But it won't be forever. I didn't lose them because I know where they are. And one day I'm going to get to go be with them in heaven. Hey, what about you? If something happened to you and you were to die, do you know for sure that you would go to heaven, or would you have a doubt about that? And share with them the gospel. Wow. You're like, I'm not very good at that. Okay, I'm going to give you a class for free. We have a Bible Institute and the vice president of a Bible college, and the course is called Personal Evangelism. And if you go to FamilyBaptistBibleInstitute.com and start a free account, you'll get that class for free. And you can learn how to be a great person that witnesses and wins other people to Christ. And you use that introduction. Boy, how do you turn down someone when they're talking about their loved one that passed away last week or last month? It's a very powerful opening, and hopefully they'll let you share with them how to go to heaven. Powerful thing, a great thing to be able to do. Make sure that they know that they're on the way to heaven, and use your loved one's passing in order to do that, and they will have more rewards in heaven because of it. If I can help you, encourage you in any way, please let me know. And I hope that you found these helpful. And when another person, a friend or family or someone you hear about loses a loved one, feel free to send them this first video so they can know how they can see their loved one again, how they can know they're on their way to heaven, and so they can get the comfort for their hurt and grief that they have in their life. God bless you, and thank you for taking the time to watch these videos. I hope it was an encouragement and a help to you. God bless you.